Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Happy Friday and welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on WKYC. I'm Jay Crawford. Over the next 30 minutes, does Kenny Pickett really have a chance to win the starting quarterback job for the Cleveland Browns? We'll talk about that. Jason.
I'm Jason Lloyd. The Browns and Jack Conklin just did a really unique restructure on his contract. He's taking a little bit less money, but he gets to free agency a little bit sooner. We're going to explain the details on that and why more teams don't do that. G.
Have you always wondered which NFL players and basketball players could be interchangeable? We'll talk about which Cavalier players would actually be great on the Cleveland Browns. McNuggets?
The Cavs have a 15-game win streak that ties not only their longest season, but the longest in the NBA. Can they beat Memphis tonight in Memphis without Donovan Mitchell to reach 16? We'll talk about that. But first, Kenny Pickett, guys, had his introductory press conference with the Cleveland Browns yesterday and was asked what Andrew Berry and the coaching staff told him about his chances of competing for the starting job next season. I cut the question and the answer and the follow-up so there is no confusion on what Kenny Pickett said to this question. Steve, let's see it.
Hey, Kenny. The chance to compete feels a little, ambiguous. Like, did you get any more clarity on, did that mean for a starting job? Did they tell you who you might be competing with, anything like that?
Yeah, a chance to compete to be the starter.
And then is it uneasy at all not knowing if a guy like Russell will be drafted or come in, signed, or if they could take a quarterback at number 2?
No, not really. I mean, all you want is an opportunity. It doesn't matter who else is in the room. All you can ask for is an opportunity, then you got to go handle the rest.
So that was Kenny Pickett saying the Browns told him he'd have a chance to compete for the starting job. Jay, what are the chances that come August and September, Kenny Pickett is in the mix for the Browns QB1 spot?
Well, there is a chance, which would be, it could be 0.00001% chance, but there is a chance. When Sam Darnold went to Minnesota last offseason, what were the chances that he not only would become the starter there, but that he would lead them to 14 wins and would sign a ridiculous new contract elsewhere in the NFL? Slim. But that's exactly what happened. Kenny Pickett is a former first-round pick. He is a former 2-year starter in the NFL who had a year to sit and watch a Super Bowl winning quarterback operate and watch how he does things. So I'm not going to sit here and project that he's going to be the starter, but I think what Cleveland told him is true. You're going to get a chance to compete. And if you if you play better than everyone else, you win the job. If you don't, you won't. And I think that's what you would want at any position, fair competition.
Yeah, when I heard this, I was a little sick a little bit because he said that convincingly. I said they must have told him that he was going to get a chance. He might get a shot. He might actually get a shot to play.
Well, would you expect them to say, Kenny, we're signing you, but you have no chance?
Exactly.
No.
They do a good job of convincing people.
How much chance did Sam Darnold have of doing what he did?
He might got
0.
He might got 25.
0.1.
He might got 25% chance. But you'll be surprised at what G. Butch is going to say. I used to be the Duke of New Jerk. I think I'm going to have to take that cape off and set it to the side for this year. I'm going to be reserved. Hey, Kenny Pickett, I don't know if you're good. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is good. Don't know if Cam Ward is good. I don't even know if Russell Wilson really wants to come here. He might want to come here. I'm just going to say, get a mix of 3 people, Jason. Let them fight for it, and I'll watch it. All I'm saying is, whatever you want to do, Kevin Stefanski, it better work. So I'm not going to put no judgment on it. Kenny Pickett can come out here and be great, or he could be trash. All I'm going to say is I'm going to watch the show and see who does what to get the spot.
Well, Jay, I think you hit on it earlier. You're not going to trade for a guy and then tell him we're going to lock you in the closet like the GIMP.
Right. We're signing you to be the third-string quarterback.
We'll see you in January. So, of course, you're going to tell him. Who else in this room right now is going to play right now? Kenny Pickett's your starting quarterback. He's the only guy on the roster. You just traded DTR. Deshaun's out. Like, who else is on the roster?
When Kenny Pickett signed with Philly, they didn't tell him, you have a chance to
Right.
be the starting quarterback.
right.
They said, you're the insurance policy in case Jalen gets hurt.
Yeah.
So each situation is different.
If you draft a quarterback at 2, you could start Kenny Pickett to start the year for the first 3 or 4 games and then make the switch
Right.
if you want. It's
Sure.
It's sort of how they handle Baker. That's what I said on the show yesterday. If Russ comes here, Russ ain't coming here to sit. Russ is starting 17 games.
You're right.
It's different with Kenny Pickett. Kenny, you can tell him you're going to compete for the starting job, regardless of if you draft a guy at 2nd overall or the 2nd round or 3rd round or whatever. And Kenny is a little bit more malleable just in stature and career success. You could start the year with Kenny Pickett as your starting quarterback, and if it is Shador or whoever at 2, if you want to go that route, you can start Shador at week 1 if you want, or you can rest him, sit him, and then bring him in week 3, week 4, week 5, whenever you deem he's ready.
Y'all just gave it to me. I realize what you're saying. It's just like when you get out of college, you have a college girlfriend. You never tell her, no, I'm not going to marry you.
No.
Of course that's on the table.
You're in the running.
You're in the
you have
running,
a chance.
You got to figure it out, man. You don't just pour cold water all over your situation.
If you tell them there's no chance,
there's no chance.
They're gone.
They're
right.
gone.
There's now, as you get older, you can't string people along. Russ is not going for that. He's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Are we
Am I
moving?
the guy?
Are we that thing together? Yeah, and we need to start looking for houses too.
Well, you said it. It comes with cachet.
Yeah.
Russ has a ring. Russ has done some things.
Yeah.
When Russ goes to talk to the Browns and the Giants, he wants some assurances that the job is going to be him.
Yep.
When Kenny Pickett goes to talk to teams, he's basically saying, if you give me the hat and the clipboard, I'm good with that. Just put some zeros behind that first number and we'll make it work. So there's different levels to this. And clearly the Browns told him what he wanted to hear, which I think is true also.
It is true.
Like, I'm not going to say that he's going to be the starting quarterback. That would be a big reach.
No,
but there are a lot of scenarios that could happen where he is the starting quarterback.
He's 26 years old. He's got a lot of career. He's got a lot of football in front of him. How many times? And I don't want to make it sound like I think Kenny Pickett is going to be the starter here for the next 15 years. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I am saying is he's had 2 years in the league as a starter. He's had moderate success. The Steelers were a mess at the time when he was there. There was just a lot going on with them. I said this yesterday on the YouTube show, but I did reach out to an NFL coach who knows Kenny well, and I got to tell you, the endorsement was not great. It was okay arm, so-so arm, and lacks confidence, which is about the worst thing you can say about an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
But I just wonder how much of what happened in Pittsburgh just sort of damaged him, and can the Browns build that back up? Because you don't get to this level without having confidence.
Here's what's funny about you saying lacks confidence. Wasn't Sam Darnold the guy who
Yeah.
literally said,
I
I
see ghosts.
I
Yeah.
see ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, and I said at the time, that's the final nail in his career coffin. That's that.
Yeah.
Because you can't come back from that. We've seen, and I don't want to say it's a trend, but this used to never happen. At least I couldn't remember this happening. When the NFL decides collectively that, you're kind of on the junk heap and now you're a career backup, that's usually that. But Geno Smith went to Seattle, and a crazy thing happened.
He rejuvenated his career.
He rejuvenated his career. Baker Mayfield wore 3 different helmets in the span of 12 months. And a lot of people thought, that's that. And he went to Tampa, and he's rejuvenated his career. And perhaps the biggest example of that is Sam Darnold. I thought Sam was toast. And he went to Minnesota and shocked the NFL universe.
Absolutely.
And so I can't sit here and say definitively that will never happen again.
Right.
We've seen it happen 3 times in the last couple of years with guys that we thought were probably done.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
Maybe Kenny is the next in that line. Let's hope he is. If he is, we solve a problem in an unconventional way. All right, Browns and the contract of Jack Conklin. You talked about it. When I first read about this, I thought immediately, I'm like, wow, the Browns get what they want. They save some money under the cap. They give up a little bit of time in terms of longevity with the Conklin contract. If you would, Jay, explain the details on how this works and answer the question that you asked at the beginning of the show. Why don't we see this more often?
I think it's a unique circumstance, a unique situation where, Jack is 30 years old. He's had a ton of injuries in his career, and a lot of knee problems. And this gets him, he didn't have any guaranteed money on his deal, so this restructures it. He gives a little bit of money back, and he gets to free agency sooner. So he gets a chance to cash in again a little bit sooner. And from the Browns' perspective, they let him out a year early. But, again, how much do you want to commit to him given his injury history? I mean, there was a time not that long ago we thought he was done.
Yeah.
And he was headed for retirement.
Yeah.
And then they signed him to this extension. So I think it's mutually beneficial to both sides. He had to give back a couple million to get out sooner, but he gets an opportunity if he stays healthy this year. He's been a very productive player when he's been on the field.
Been good when he's healthy.
So if he could stay healthy this year and put up another good season, he can get back into free agency next year at 31, 32. I can't remember when his birthday is, and have a chance to cash in again on a deal. So that's why it just takes both sides wanting to come together to make this happen. And I just don't know that the situations always align like that.
Right.
Yeah, so the Browns basically was like, we're not going to get fleeced by this. So basically they were like, okay, Jack Conklin played well last year. We thought that his contract was going to be a problem because they did offer him that big deal coming off a lot of injuries. Miraculously, he was healthy last year when he started.
Yeah, he's great.
Now, if he comes back this year and has a nice year, all of a sudden he's 31 years old, played very well, coming off a really good year. There are going to be a lot of teams that are up for a solid tackle that can move his feet. He's been away from the injuries a couple years. He potentially can get a 2-year deal, 3-year deal for a lot of in next year, and you'll say, "Oh wow, Jack Conklin got that." Somebody offer him. You look at Larry Tunsil. Larry Tunsil just got moved for some picks from the Texans.
Look at the money all the tackles just got in free
I
agency.
know.
Dan Moore just got
Yep.
$50 million
That's
guaranteed.
Stunner.
So he got another bite at the apple, and it's very rare to do that as you move to your middle 30s, Jay, in terms of, especially a guy with injury-prone history.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a win-win. The Browns get the cap flexibility they look for. But to me, Jason, I'm going to characterize it like this and see if I have my mind around this properly. It's almost like life insurance. When you buy a life insurance policy, you literally are betting that you're going to die. And the life insurance company is betting that you're going to live.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what this reminds me of. The Browns are betting, or perhaps even thinking, that this is the last year for him. Jack Conklin is betting on himself and saying, watch me fly. So he has, it gives him great incentive to be in great shape and to be healthy this year. Not that you can will health, but you can work on it by being fit. Mm-hmm. So to me, I think the Browns get one very motivated year out of Jack Conklin. Now, this blows up in their face. If he plays again at an all-pro level, plays or Pro Bowl level, plays very well,
he's out of here.
And then he signs a contract and he peace outs on Cleveland. That's how it ends up blowing up on Cleveland.
Yeah.
But they're betting that it's more likely that he either is injured or his play falls off a little bit with his age, and they made the right bet.
And at that point, they would want, from a fiscal standpoint, to get much younger anyway.
True.
I
They
would
need to
rather
get younger
a
at that position.
younger tackle that I can get somewhere else and not pay 40, 50,
Right.
$60 million.
Right.
So, it's a good business move.
They need to get younger across the line. We've talked about that at length. Both of the guards are aging. Jack is getting up there. But it is worth pointing out, if he does have another great year, he and his wife are building their forever home on the east side.
Yeah.
He will be a Cleveland resident for the rest of his life,
Right.
more than likely. So maybe there is room to, if he has a great year and
Right.
stays healthy. I wouldn't necessarily call it the end of Jack's time in Cleveland. You never know. But it gets him to free agency.
They didn't already negotiate. They got somebody else some forever money.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett. So
Yeah.
he might be the guy. I don't need $40 million, but give me a little something on the back end.
You mentioned getting older on the offensive line. Like, more than likely, this will be the last season for Joel Bitonio. I mean,
Yes.
who knows? If he has a great year and he's healthy and feels good, maybe he comes back for one more. But that is an area of major concern moving forward for the Browns, regardless of how long this contract is and Bitonio's deal. So they're going to be facing a major rebuild on that offensive line soon. All right, we're going to take a break. Coming back, the Cavaliers going for history tonight. They're trying to win 16 straight. It would be the longest win streak in team history. Last time they met with Memphis, it got a little chippy. Is there carryover tonight? We'll discuss. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Mike, Cavs and Grizz tonight. I never predict losses. This one worries me.
Yeah, they're going for 16 in a row. No Donovan Mitchell. He is listed as out with groin soreness for the second consecutive game. And it's a little bit of a bummer because the last time Donovan Mitchell played the Memphis Grizzlies, he got into it with Desmond Bane. We'll talk about the game in its totality in a sec, but Donovan Mitchell out, Desmond Bane in. Do you think we'll see a little chippiness tonight, guys?
No, I don't think you'll see. I don't think you see any chippiness in this game. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are going to come out with a lot of energy, and they're going to come out fighting. In terms of not really fighting each other, but that punch on the offensive glass. And since you don't have Donovan Mitchell in this game, it's going to be a little fiery for the other guys, and you need to really withstand like the barrage that's going to come. I think, like Jay said, if there's any game on the schedule where you look at this and it's like, okay, this might be one of those L's, this might be one of those games. Now, I'm not predicting an L, but when you don't have your best player, you're playing in Memphis, it's traditionally a tough place to play. You're going to have to get some nice performances. I always say the X Factor, Darius Garland, match up with him and Ja Morant. Ja's going to be aggressive. He's going to look to get to the basket and get a couple of dunks to get the crowd into it. I'll be surprised and I'll be pleasantly surprised if the Cavs can come out here, control pace, and actually, control it in Memphis.
Yeah, I don't know that necessarily it'll be carryover. It's been a couple of weeks since that happened. Donovan also was involved with Dylan Brooks a couple of years ago.
Yep.
They got into it. So I guess you can't rule it out when these two teams get together. But, it's a difference in baseball and basketball. Baseball, you see each other every day.
Right.
And if there's an issue on Monday, well, you're going to see him again on Tuesday. And a lot of times there is that carryover.
The temper's still hot.
Yes. But in this instance, because there's been a lot of games in between, it was a few weeks ago, Donovan's not playing. Donovan seems to be, whatever reason, in the middle of all the stuff with Memphis. We'll probably be okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's kind of hard to predict that. There is a history, but I think the main factor is Donovan's not on the floor. I think if he was out there, you might see a couple of guys take some cheap shots early at him just to send a message, but he's not. And I don't think it was malicious enough to where either team felt like, oh, even though we've slept on this for 6 weeks or whatever it's been, we're going to get our revenge tonight. Yeah. I don't think it raises to that level. So I do think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think Memphis is looking at this as, oh, the bear is wounded. Mm-hmm. Let's take him down while they've got their best player on the bench. So that, I think, will perhaps elevate Cleveland's level a little bit because they're going to have to match the intensity. I think it's going to be a great game. I expect it to come down to the final couple of minutes. And, this is a game that if I had a confidence scale, 1 to 10, probably a 5. That they can pull this one off? Yeah,
I'll be really impressed if the Cavs go in there and beat Memphis without their best player. I'd be surprised. Would I be shocked? No, but my confidence level is maybe a 6.
Okay, a little higher than me.
Jay? I mean, this team has won games they shouldn't have won all year long. I'll give them an 8.
Wow. Yeah. Well, one of those was Tuesday when they were down 18 in the third. I thought, this is. But they just found the switch, played defense, and made it work. Mike?
I gave a couple stats the other day, but during this 15-game win streak, the Cavs have erased a 15-point deficit 4 times.
That's insane.
4 separate times on this current win streak, they've been down by 15 or more, come back and won. When you look at the Grizzlies, they're 5-5 in their last 10, but check this out. Loss, win, 4 straight losses, 4 straight wins.
Wow.
They're in the midst of a 4-game win streak right now, so when you combine the two, 19 straight wins.
Who were the losses to, those 4 losses? Do you have them readily available?
Yeah, they lost to Cleveland was the first, so
okay.
10 games ago was Cleveland. Then they lost to the Knicks, the Spurs by 2, the Hawks by 2, and then the Thunder. So all
they were
close
games.
And they've beaten the Mavericks by 11, the Pelicans by 3, the Sun by 2, and the Jazz by 8. So playing a little better of late.
One other thing to look for tonight, the Cavs are undefeated this year when they take a lead into the fourth quarter, which still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Right.
That is, you never see that, not in basketball. And we'll see tonight if that trend can continue.
They got Mariano Rivera on the mound when he gets to the
It's like, if you don't beat them the first 3, you are not going to beat them. And that's a testament to Kenny Atkinson getting them to play hard when it matters most. All right, we're taking a break. This team kind of has a football team mentality, right? They're tough. They play hard. Would any of these Cavaliers make good Cleveland Browns? We have video to debate that topic when the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on WKYC comes right now. One of my favorite things in all of sports to watch is when a team is forced to bring in a shortstop to pitch.
Yes.
I just can't blink.
Or the backup catcher.
A backup, anything. I love it when people are asked to do something other than what they're paid to be the best in the world to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And we kind of saw that a little bit yesterday. The Cavs spent some time in Nashville between their home game Tuesday and tonight's game in Memphis. And they went to Vanderbilt, and they actually got out on the football field and tried their hand at some football. And you're looking at the video here. We know the build and the athleticism of all of these guys. I think it's safe to say Donovan Mitchell could probably do anything. We've seen him hit a baseball. Which of the Cavaliers do you guys think would have the best chance at crossing over to a football career?
I've thought about this long and hard, and it's this easy one. Isaac Okoro.
Oh, that was my answer.
That was right.
He's like he's a defensive player. Defensive player. He'd be safety. He's 6'5", 6'8", wingspan. You know, he has to be over 200 pounds almost.
Tight end if he can.
Tight end.
Tight end. I want to throw passes to him because his catch radius has got to be ridiculous.
Yeah. He's definitely my guy.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen a 6'5" safety. He'd kill somebody coming across the middle.
like that's wild. He can jump. He got almost 40-inch vertical. Isaac Okoro is a monster.
I hope this was a flag game or two-hand touch. Can you imagine somebody got hurt playing tackle football at Vanderbilt?
Go explain that to Dan Gilbert.
Yeah,
But
right?
but this scares me as I'm the most injury-prone dude in the world. Like these guys are outside on turf, like jumping, catching the ball. That's Achilles.
This is a little bit more aggressive
than I want.
But when I was covering this team, they went to Napa and got drunk for 3 days in the middle of the season.
So
and this is around the same like type of concept of it's been a long year. You guys have had a great year. Let's go blow off some steam for a couple days.
Yeah, and have fun.
Yeah, and have fun.
Who doesn't have fun throwing a football around and running routes?
Yeah.
A couple of comments. One, I thought we were looking at some excerpts from an old Abercrombie and Fitch commercial. Pretty sure they filmed that same scene.
Yeah.
Two, I believe, some video of Darius Garland running a go route and kicking it into that extra gear that you see guys kick it into after the ball is thrown, and they're like, "Oh, my current pace isn't going to catch it, but I have a gear where I can go get it." It's going to come up here on replay in a second. I think this is it. Watch Darius Garland here.
This is the Max.
Okay, no, that's
pick
the
six.
interception.
It's the next play.
Okay, so watch this throw. Garland's running a route, and at first he thinks that he's got to run at one speed, and then after the ball is thrown, he's like, "Oh, no, I'm going to, right here, watch this. Watch.
Boom.
Afterburners.
Yep.
Boom.
See, this is my problem.
And he catches it.
Now, if somebody pulls a hamstring, who's covering up for this?
Yeah, that's
Who's covering?
Well, Kenny Atkinson was pitching the ball right there, so
See, I don't know. Listen,
you can't say he didn't know about it.
Please, these dudes is 50, 60 win team. This is an NBA Finals team ready to happen. I don't need no ACLs, no PCLs, no Achilles heel
And
playing none of that.
The fact that they allowed video to get out from it is
They took the
stunning.
video.
They
I know,
posted the video.
but think how stunning that is.
Because nobody got hurt, you could post the
I
video.
guess, yeah, we're in the clear.
fact.
Put it out there.
You wait till everybody's clear and everybody's off the field.
Yeah.
Everybody's good.
Everybody
Everybody
good?
feel okay?
Post-
All right,
Y'all got that
send.
tape? Sam Merrill was kicking extra points or field goals and looked like he knew what he was doing. He's done this before.
So
Right
I've
there.
asked Dean Wade in the locker room before. Dean, who's the best, other than basketball, just when you guys play other sports, who does well? His two answers were Donovan,
Of course.
and Sam Merrill.
Wow.
I was
Look at
shocked.
that.
And I said, Sam, he goes, you will be shocked at how good Sam Merrill is at random things and how competitive he is. I'd never seen it in action. I saw this video, and now I know Dean Wade doesn't lie to me when I ask him weird questions like that.
Yeah, his follow-through wasn't huge there, but his steps were true.
He's not fooling nobody.
Snapped his hips.
Sam done been on the rowing team.
What is that? About 30
Okay,
yards?
that's the 30-yard line. Oh, he missed this one. You know what he did? He said, I got to really get into
Lay
this
into
one.
it, yeah.
It's what always happens when you go back to like 45,
pushed
50
it.
yards.
Yeah.
You lose your accuracy because you start getting out of your technique.
You give him 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I guarantee you can get 5 out of 10.
Well, since you took Isaac
Training.
Okoro, I'll take Sam Merrill as an NFL kicker.
We missed one, though, guys. The right answer should have been Jalen Tyson. Not only is his brother an all Pac-12 or all whatever conference Arizona State's in now receiver,
Yeah.
Jalen Tyson said he was a better football player before he started playing basketball because he got too big. So Jalen Tyson is probably the right answer to this question.
He is 6'6".
Donovan Mitchell, though, I've seen that man hit a baseball.
He could be a fullback, a
out.
running back, a middle linebacker. He's
Yeah.
built
Good
like a
play
football
Randy
player.
Moss called me the other day and said Imani Bates is the best receiver he ever seen.
Oh boy, here we go.
See you Monday.